Finals. It's been a long, fabulous road. Here we go. Match championship. Let's start with the buzzer check.
To my right is Kaylee.
No. Let's start with the buzzer
Oh, my bad.
check.
I thought you said Brunswick. Oh. I'm nervous, man.
Me too.
I ain't gonna lie.
We're good. We got this.
I think everyone in the audience is nervous too. It's exciting. Okay, Brunswick High School.
Now I can go. All right. To my right is Kaylee Chrisman. To my left is Mason Leffler, a.k.a. Big L. My far left is Ben Bolingbrook. I'm Michael Sarnke, and we would like to thank our principal, the GOAT, Michael Wayne Dillman.
Let's go! Yay! Urbana High School.
To my right is Abhi Santhukumar. To my far left is Brina Ratanji. To my immediate left is Adi Wang. I'm Judah Bijan, and we'd like to thank all of the other teams in this competition for making this year really memorable.
How nice. And Walkersville.
On my right is Ethan Coleman. On my immediate left is Milan Patel, a.k.a. Big P. On my far left is Solomon Chan. I'm Evan Panetti, and we'd like to thank the junior boys and wish Patrick Miller a speedy recovery with his buzzer hand injury.
Ooh. Fake. Don't want that. Don't want that. Okay, we ready for round one, the unannounced? Round one is a competition round, 10 questions with theme or recurring focus unannounced, one up or one down for an incorrect response. Words and names that start with ST, the two letters after R, ST, okay? I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to give you a definition, sometimes even a second definition, and then I'm going to give you a sentence with a fill in the blank. You can ring it at any time you want, but one definition, maybe two, and then a sentence with a blank where that word would fit in. Tense and that kind of stuff doesn't matter. Just get the word that starts with ST. Everybody with me? All set? Okay. Question one. To walk or move unsteadily.
Walkersville.
Strut.
No, I'm sorry. Or to begin to give away. A sentence, the boy began to blank after hurting his leg in the game to stagger. Stagger. Question two. A $4 pattern coin of the U.S. having a metal content based on the metric system, or a female given name originating from Latin. The sentence. Stanley Kowalski in A Streetcar Named Desire screamed the name...
Walkersville.
Stacy.
No, I'm sorry. Stella. Stella. Stella, right? Okay. Stacy would not have had the same ring. Question three. A series or flight of steps, or forming...
Walkersville.
Response, please.
Staircase.
A staircase or stairs? Uh-huh. I always take the staircase for a better workout was the sentence. Question four. A more or less orderly pile or heap, or a large, usually...
Urbana.
Stack.
Yes, good. Or large, usually conical pile of straw or a set of shelves for books. Question five. He was born Richard Starkey, but changed his name...
Brunswick.
Star.
Ringo Starr. To this after becoming the drummer for the Beatles. Question six. Harsh, grim, or desolate, or bluntly stern or plain.
Brunswick.
Stark.
Yes, good. I was going to give you the Game of Thrones clue, but you did not need it. Question seven. As a noun, this word is the stem or main axis.
Urbana.
Stump.
No, I'm sorry. Stem or main axis of a plant as a verb to pursue or approach prey stealthily. Sentence, he was so obsessed with her, he began to stalk her on her way home from work. Question 8. He was born in 1878 and rose from being a revolutionary in Russia to a Soviet politician to...
Urbana.
Stalin.
Stalin's correct. To Secretary General of the USSR. Question 9. A sudden, frenzied rush or headlong flight of a herd of frightened animals, especially
Walkersville.
Stampede.
especially cattle or horses, a stampede, right? Question 10. To cease, leave off, or discontinue.
Brunswick.
Stop.
I'm going to stop this round with that question. That's correct. That completes round one. All right, round two, an individual school round. 6 questions from a variety of topics. 1 point for a correct response. No points deducted for an incorrect response. Brunswick, please introduce any new players.
To my far right is Aiden Roberts. To my immediate right is Angela Miller. To my left is Quint Rhymes. I'm Ethan Hopko, and we would like to thank Frederick for hosting this year.
Oh, nice. Urbana.
To my right is Nathan Ridgway. To my far left is Trevor Weekly. I'm Sonia Simkin, and we'd like to thank the scorers table.
Yay, Frederick. And Walkersville.
To my right is Connor Bosco. I'm Lexi Shoemaker, and we would like to thank all of our wonderful supporters.
Very nice. Urbana, could you please pick A, B, or X for Brunswick?
X.
X it is. These questions for Brunswick High School. Question 1, and this requires a 2-part answer. 2. These were the first military engagements of the American Revolutionary War, fought on April 19, 1775, in the province of Massachusetts Bay. Name the battles that were impacted by the rise of Paul Revere and Samuel Prescott.
Lexington and Concord.
Correct. Question 2. This American gymnast won the 2016 Olympic individual all-around, vault, and floor gold medalist. She is a 5-time world all-around champion in gymnastics and has the most world gold medals with 19 of any gymnast, regardless of gender. Name this woman most considered the greatest gymnast ever.
Biles.
Yes, Simone Biles, that's correct. Good. Question 3. Precipitation occurs when condensed water droplets form in clouds by sticking to particles in the atmosphere. Of the 2 types of clouds that produce rain, which produces thunderstorms? Response, please.
Cirrus.
No, a cumulonimbus, thunderstorms. Question 4. What film are the following quotes from? I don't want to kill you. What would I do without you? Go back to ripping off mob dealers? No, no, no. You complete me. How about a magic trick? I'm going to make this pencil disappear. He's the hero Gotham deserves, but not the one it needs right now.
The Dark Knight.
Correct. Question 5. These Charles Dickens novels are his only 2 novels written entirely in first-person narration. One features a young man who is thrown in debtor's prison, has an Aunt Betsy Trotwood, and eventually becomes a writer. The other novel features a young boy who falls in love with Estella, even though she scorns him for being a poor boy. Name either of these 2 incredible novels.
David Copperfield.
That's the first one. Great Expectations is the second one, correct? Question 6. This is the only U.S. state located in the Pacific Ocean and the only state composed entirely of islands. It is known for surfing, beautiful beaches, and volcanoes. Name this state.
Hawaii.
That's correct. That completes the round 4 of Brunswick. Walkersville, please pick A or B for Urbana.
B.
B it is. For Urbana alone. Question 1. In which of the 3 types of rocks are fossils most often found?
Sedimentary.
Correct. Question 2. This Charles Dickens novel centers on an orphan born in a workhouse who has the temerity to ask for more gruel. He meets the Artful Dodger and his band of pickpockets led by Fagin and is used by Bill Sykes for a robbery. Name this incredible novel.
Oliver Twist.
It is Oliver Twist. Question 3. This American professional soccer player captains the Reign Football Club in the National Women's Soccer League and played winger for the U.S. national team. She was named the best FIFA Women's Player in 2019 after leading the U.S. to the Women's World Cup. Name this outspoken activist and athlete.
Rapinoe.
Megan Rapinoe is correct. Question 4. This U.S. state is the most populous state in the country and 3rd largest by area. The state is considered a global trendsetter in popular culture, communication, environmentalism, and entertainment, which makes sense since it is where the origin of the film industry began. Name this state.
California.
Correct. Question 5. What film are the following quotes from? Leave the gun, take the cannoli. Luca Brasi sleeps with the fishes. I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
The Godfather.
Is The Godfather. Question 6. A series of aerial combats that took place between British and German aircraft during the autumn of 1940 is called by this name, after Winston Churchill said, "The Battle of France is over and this was about to begin."
Battle of Britain.
That's correct, and that completes the round for Urbana. That leaves packet A for Walkersville. Question 1. This is the southernmost contiguous state in the United States and is known for golf, tennis, and water sports. 2/3 of the state occupies a peninsula between the Gulf of Mexico and the Atlantic Ocean. Name this state.
Florida.
Correct. Question 2. This American professional tennis player has won 23 major singles titles, the most by any man or woman in the Open era. She has been ranked world number 1 in singles on 8 separate occasions, and she and her sister Venus held all 4 major doubles titles in 2009 and 2010. Name this extraordinary athlete.
Williams.
That's correct,
Serena.
Serena Williams, because I only gave you the Venus, so that's fine. Question 3. This was a fleet of 130 ships that sailed from Corunna in 1588 with the purpose of escorting an army to invade England. Name this fleet that was defeated by Sir Francis Drake, English fire ships, and storms that caused the ships to wreck on the coast of Scotland.
Spanish Armada.
That's correct. Question 4. What film are the following quotes from? I have to remind myself that some birds aren't meant to be caged. Get busy living or get busy dying. Remember, Red, hope is a good thing, maybe the best of things, and no good thing ever dies.
Shawshank Redemption.
That is correct. Question 5. What is the common name of the species Apis mellifera, which is responsible for pollination of many crops across the world?
Bees.
The bees, right? Question 6. This Charles Dickens novel is a historical novel set during the French Revolution. French Dr. Manette was imprisoned in the Bastille for 18 years, and his daughter Lucy and French émigré Charles Darnay worked to leave France during the Reign of Terror. Name this incredible novel.
Tale of Two Cities.
I'm a big Dickens fan, if you can't tell, and that completes round 2. Okay, round 3. Competition round with buzzer system for team recognition. 10 questions with the 5 math questions. As you've heard me say many times before, you get 30 seconds. If you ring in, wait for the awesome scorers table to recognize you, who will recognize you immediately, and then you must immediately answer the question. Brunswick, the new players.
To my far right is Connor Sarnicki. To my immediate right is Rebecca Schulenbarger. I'm Tyler Hempy, and we'd like to wish Senora a happy belated birthday.
Urbana.
To my right is Edward Hayes Lone, and we'd like to thank Mr. Otterset for showing up today.
Very nice. Walkersville.
To my immediate right is Pritha Patel. To my left is Megan Bertolette. I'm Wilson Kong, and we'd like to thank all the faculty who came out to support us and wish Lexi Shoemaker a happy early birthday.
Very nice. Okay, round 3, math. Are we all set? Question 1, math. Let A, B, C, D be a set of numbers chosen from the first 9 positive integers. If you add every possible pair of these 4 numbers, you get these sums: 7, 9, 10, 12, 13, 15. What is the smallest possible product of these 4 numbers?
Urbana or
They got it in.
Urbana?
24.
I'm sorry, 560. 560, and I agree, I heard it right as you said it, so. Question 2. Question 2. This battle was a pivotal event in the Texas Revolution. Fought,
Brunswick.
The Alamo.
yes, good, fought in February and March 1836. Yep. Question 3, math. Of the following 3 numbers, which is greater? 3, 1, 2, base 4, the arithmetic mean of 51, 62, 48, 54, 45, 51, and 46, or log base 2 of 4,194,304.
Walkersville.
312 base, log base 4.
That is correct. Thank you, Kelly. I didn't understand any of that. I was hoping you'd say the first one. That I understood, but that's okay. Thank you. Question 4. This Commonwealth's nickname is Island of Enchantment, and its name in Spanish is Rich Port.
Brunswick.
Puerto Rico.
That's correct. Question 5, math. Find the sum of the smallest and largest prime factors of 10,101. Time 40. Question 6. While multiple United States presidents have faced the threat of impeachment, how many have actually been?
Urbana.
3.
3 is correct. Question 7, math. For the following problem, use the empirical rule. A set of test scores is normally distributed. If 99.7% of students scored between 51% and 93% on a test, what percent did a student have to score on the test to be in the top 5% of the class?
Urbana.
86.
86 or above 86%, that's correct. Yep. Question 8. Right, Kelly? Okay. Double check. Question 8. The New York Public Library released the titles of the 10 most checked out books in its 125-year history. 3 of those books, A Snowy Day, The Cat in the Hat, and Where the Wild Things Are, finished.
Brunswick.
Newbery Medal.
No, I'm sorry. I finished first, second, and fourth. Finishing third was a quite different book written in 1948 by an Englishman about the dangers of totalitarianism, 1984. So you jumped that one. 1984 was the correct answer. That one, question 9, math. Each day, the itsy bitsy spider will travel 5 feet up the water spout of a building. Each night, it will rain and wash the spider 3 feet down the water spout. If the itsy bitsy spider starts traveling up the 50-foot water spout on the morning of April 1st, on what date will it first reach the top of the spout?
Urbana.
The 25th day.
I'm sorry, the 24th day. Missed it by 1. We've had a lot of close misses today. Question 10. In his own day, he was described as a natural philosopher, but we think of him as a mathematician, physicist.
Urbana.
Newton.
Yes, very good, Sir Isaac Newton. That's correct, and that completes round 3. All right, round 4, competition round with buzzer system for team recognition. Tonight's round, of course, focused on the 1920s. 1 point up or down for an incorrect or correct response. Brunswick, any words?
No new introductions, but we would like to thank Ms. Hedges, Ms. Meisner, Ms. Thompson, and you, Mr. Reichel.
Bonus points for Brunswick.
I agree with that.
Thank you. Urbana High School.
No new introductions, but we'd like to thank every single person in this audience tonight.
All inclusive. I like it. And Walkersville.
To my right is Ruben Puthamana. We'd like to thank the coaches for writing such great questions and my sister for helping me out last week when I was running late.
Okay, the 1920s, here we go. Question 1. Originally designed to be 10 feet tall, this was enlarged to 19 feet to prevent it from being overwhelmed by the huge chamber. But despite this change, it opened on schedule and was dedicated on May 30th, 1922, and presented to President Harding by Chief Justice
Walkersville.
Lincoln Memorial?
Yeah, Lincoln or the Lincoln Memorial, right. What famous DC memorial was dedicated on this day to the 16th U.S. president? Good. Question 2. In the 1920s, his clean-cut looks and good-natured personality gave him a glow on screen. And
Brunswick.
Valentino?
no, I'm sorry. And he was well known as making comedies early in his career. He was best known for his swashbuckling roles in silent films, including The Thief of Baghdad and The Mark of Zorro, and was a founding member of the United Artists, Douglas Fairbanks. Your guy was also a big 20s guy, but not the same one. Question 3. This question requires a two-part answer. 2. In July of 1925, a substitute high school teacher was accused.
Urbana.
No, Scopes, Tennessee.
In the Scopes monkey trial in Tennessee.
Brian and Darrow in the Scopes monkey trial.
What was the first part of it?
Brian.
No, yep, sorry. No, I'm sorry, it's incorrect. Was accused of violating Tennessee's Butler Act, which made it unlawful to teach this. William Jennings Bryan and Clarence Darrow argued the case, which resulted in a guilty verdict, named both the teacher and what he tried to teach, Scopes and human evolution. So, good try. Question 4, another two-part answer. 2. Both men had been in America for over a decade, but they had limited.
Brunswick.
Sacco and Vanzetti?
Yes, very good. They had limited English and their foreignness, their anti-Italian racism, etc. Good. Question 5. He was born in Detroit and was raised on a farm in Minnesota, but he became a barnstormer or daredevil pilot who even.
Walkersville.
Lindbergh.
Yep, Charles Lindbergh, who even, he got his pilot license, Spirit of St. Louis, etc. Question 6. The idea for this came about in 1921 when Benton McKay wrote his original plan that detailed a path that would connect a series of farms and work camps.
Walkersville.
Route 66?
No, I'm sorry. That would connect a series of farms and work camps for city dwellers from New Hampshire to North Carolina. Originally, hiking was an incidental focus of the Appalachian Trail, 1925. Question 7. Set in the summer of 1922, this novel was inspired by the parties the author attended on Long Island.
Brunswick.
Great Gatsby?
That's for you, honey. That's right. Great Gatsby. Yep. Fitzgerald said something new, something extraordinary and beautiful and simple and intricately patterned. So you see, we're not torturing you, 11th graders. We love you. That's why we want you to read that great book. So The Great Gatsby was correct. Question 8. George Bugs Moran was a career criminal who ran the North Side Gang in Chicago during the bootlegging era of the 1920s. 7 men in his gang.
Walkersville.
St. Valentine's Day Massacre.
That happened, but that's not what I was looking for. 7 men in his gang were lined up by men in police uniforms and gunned down while he was conveniently at his Florida home. Al Capone was the gangster that arranged for that to happen. Question 9. On June 2nd, 1924, President Calvin Coolidge signed into law an act which granted citizenship to a people who had been forbidden.
Urbana. Native Americans.
Yep, or the Indian Citizen Act. Either one would have been correct. That's correct. Question 10. Every late fall in this country, we celebrate Black Friday, but there was no celebrating Black Tuesday.
Brunswick.
Great Depression? Stock market crash?
Oh, okay, you got it in just in time. Yes, the stock market crash. That's correct, and that completes round 4.
Y'all got this.
I'm going to quote my former colleague and good friend, Russ Beaton. Take a deep breath. There we go. Okay, round 5. Competition round with a buzzer system for team recognition. 20 questions. Obviously, anybody's match. 1 up, 1 down. Brunswick.
No new introductions, but we'd like to thank Mrs. Ruby, the best chemistry teacher ever.
Yeah, Miss Ruby. Wow, I could have used you. Urbana.
No new introductions, but we'd like to thank our seniors for being the best teammates and role models anyone could ask for.
How nice. How sweet. Walkersville.
No new introductions, but we'd like to thank our principal, Ms. Kibler, for coming out to support us, and we'd also like to wish Lexi Shoemaker a happy early birthday.
How nice. Hey, Tracy. Okay, we all set? Here we go. Question 1. Earlier this month, the comic strip Leo featured this painting, a composition created by Norwegian expressionist Edvard Munch in
Walkersville.
The Scream.
Excellent, yes, in 1893. There was a lot more to it, but you didn't need it. Question 2. This question requires a 4-part answer. You have to have all 4. Philip Michael Thomas was not a famous actor, although he did have a good role in Miami Vice. In 1984, when talking about his plans for future show business success, he summarized his hopes with 4 letters, EGOT, or E-G-O-T.
Urbana.
Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony.
Yep, those 4. Only 15 members of that exclusive club. That's correct. Question 3. At about 2.5 times Mount Everest's height, this planet has the largest mountain.
Brunswick.
Mars.
It is Mars, yep, in existence. That's a big mountain. Question 4. This week, Exelon, one of the nation's largest utilities, told this government agency that its effort to change a rule that has cut emissions of mercury and other toxins.
Brunswick.
EPA.
More specific, please.
Environmental Protection Agency.
Yes, that's correct. Good. Kind of stunning, but they did. Question 5. This isotope of element number 6, carbon, has a mass.
Brunswick.
Carbon-13.
No, I'm sorry, has a mass of 14 is commonly used to determine the age of fossilized material. How many neutrons are in each atom of carbon-14? 8. So there was more to that one. Question 6. Surrealism is an artistic movement that flourished in the early 20th century, which expressed imaginative dreams and visions free from conscious, rational control. This famous Spanish painter.
Brunswick.
Dali.
Salvador Dali, that's correct. Lobster telephone, dream caused by the flight of a bee, persistence of memory, of course. Question 7. One of my favorite television shows of the last 20 years is Firefly, which only lasted 1 season, although it did have a follow-up film called Serenity. The man who created this series.
Urbana.
Whelan?
So close. Whedon. The man who created this series also created Dr. Horrible Sing-Along Blog, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Cabin in the Woods, The Avengers, and he even co-wrote the first Toy Story movie. Joss Whedon. Question 8. This famous singer-songwriter is releasing a new album next week called American Standard. He has sold more than 100 million records worldwide, and his #1 album, Before This World, was released in 2015. His first break came through in 1970 when he released Fire and Rain, and he hit.
Walkersville.
Taylor?
My man, James Taylor, that's right. Question 9. This question requires a 2-part answer, 2. In February of 2018, the Smithsonian's National Portrait Gallery unveiled 2 official portraits that have since become.
Urbana.
Barack and Michelle Obama?
Correct. Become iconic. They're even going on tour next year. Question 10. What literary character may have said the following? How do I know this? Why, it's simplicity itself. My eyes tell me that on the inside of your left shoe, the leather is scored by 6.
Urbana.
Sherlock Holmes?
That is Sherlock Holmes. There's a lot more to it, but you didn't need it. Question 11. Rapier, saber, épée, foil.
Urbana.
Swords?
Swords, types of swords, correct. Question 12. In which film do the following quotes occur? Of all the gin joints in all the towns.
Walkersville.
Casablanca?
Yes, Casablanca. There was a lot more to that, but you didn't need it. Question 13. According to the Frederick News Post this week, a bill in the General Assembly may change the way we shop in Maryland. If the bill passes, starting next year in July, these would be banned from point.
Walkersville.
Plastic bags?
Yes, plastic bags. We're banned from point of sale places to be replaced by reusable bags, paper, etc. Correct. Question 14. The United States has the 3rd largest estuary in the world.
Brunswick.
Chesapeake Bay.
Yep, Chesapeake Bay watershed. Good. Question 15. For the first time in Baseball America's 40 years of rating college baseball programs, this school was ranked #1 this week. The winged helmet is a recognizable icon of their athletic program and is worn on their batting helmets. Name this Big Ten school, which features school colors of maize and blue.
Urbana.
Michigan?
Yes. #1. Question 16. On April 15th last year, a structure fire broke out beneath the roof.
Walkersville.
Notre Dame Cathedral fire?
That's correct. Damaging, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Question 17. Her film career began at age 3, and she went on to star in such films as Contact, Taxi Driver, and Freaky Friday.
Walkersville.
Foster?
Jodie Foster, that's correct. I was going to give you the Silence of the Lambs. Clarice Starling, you didn't need it. Question 18. In the 1830s, this was the first bridge to be built across the River Thames. Perhaps that is why the child song was worried.
Urbana.
The London Bridge?
The London Bridge, about it falling down. Good. Question 19. I just finished rereading a book that contained 3 works by this author. They were the earlier works for the most part, but also included the beginning of a last novel she was unable to finish.
Walkersville.
Austen?
Jane Austen, that's correct. The works were Lady Susan, the Watsons, and Sandisha. Question 20. This is widely considered one of the most beautiful buildings in the world. It was built to honor the favorite wife of an emperor. It was...
Walkersville.
Taj Mahal?
That's correct. What a match. Congratulations on a tremendous match. Wow.